Good evening, good people, and welcome to yet another race in the Speed Gaming Live Final Fantasy Randomizer online tournament. I'm Saracen, joined in the booth by Catnip Bumblefarts. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
You know, it's a back to work Monday, and that, not so great. But here we are, back for another fabulous game, and we've got two good racers here, Wildham and Kumo. Kumo had a fantastic performance in last year's online tournament. Wildham, somebody who's been on the dev team for quite a while, does the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest randomizer development as well, both with custom sprites. Wildham actually had his son make this unnamed tree, and so we on both sides we have our characters named after their classes to try to keep that organized. However, we're going to have some questions if there are recruits. Kumo, meanwhile, has a Zelda pack, which is pretty fantastic. I think both of these are fabulous custom sprites. One of the wonderful things that you're able to do with the randomizer here.
Yeah, those are incredible. I love that Wildham. You said Wildham's son made those?
That is what he told me.
Fantastic.
I
love the ninja sprite. Very good. Very good. I like that a lot. Well, thank you, Unnamed Tree, for contributing to the wonderful randomness of the randomizer and helping to keep us on our toes trying to figure out what classes are what. So speaking of classes, looks like we are starting with a ninja, double red wizard, white wizard. What happens?
I think that this party comp is theoretically fine, but let's quick run through the blurses. You'll see why I'm hesitant on that. So the thief starts with the bottle and $4,000. The red mage, TNT and plus warp. So our red mages combined will give us 4 warp charges for free right out the gate.
Okay.
The white mage has the Oxyale and can equip shields. However, the fighter has plus loot and 20 strength. The black belt has plus crystal and hurt all.
Oh.
Wow! And the black mage has the crown and 20 MDef.
Okay.
All of that's great. There is not a bad blurse in here.
Wow. All right.
So just to clarify on hurt all, if you're not familiar with that particular blessing, that one is basically the same as wielding an X-Cal. You get the elemental weapon damage bonus.
Oh, fantastic.
Harm 4, very good.
Fire 3 on black magic level 1.
That is excellent sweeper magic.
Let's see what our hint giver says. Adamant from the king. All right.
That's actually really cool because when you have the red mage with the TNT out the gate, you can just hit the whole thing up.
Yeah. Proximity play. 2 birds, 1 stone. Can't beat that.
Exactly.
Stone because the adamant is a stone. Yeah. All right, and we are off to Temple of Fiends.
That is a pretty reasonable run off the hard reset.
Yeah.
Wildham not even bothering to save. We got our map derp on Kumo's side. I didn't think that Wildham had it turned.
I did not see the map derp on Wildham. Hopefully someday everyone will run with the map derp.
There is a crown from Sarah and the known adamant from the king. That was a white mage to recruit if you were so inclined. But I don't see a reason yet.
Yeah.
We have one. We rarely need 2.
Right. Well, getting that crown, I mean, you're already in proximity to Dwarf, and it looks like Wildham's heading east anyway.
I think this is sort of a natural play in that you want the level 2 magic before you go gallivanting around the world, because with Extended Open, you can just like do the whole loop down to Elf, and you don't want to abandon level 2 magic.
Right, that's true. That's true. And I guess there's a chance that there's a character in Provoca?
There is certainly a chance, and Provoca is currently wrecked. That is...
A something. All right.
It's one of the melee. I think it might have been a thief.
Well, if it's a thief, we already have a ninja, so we're not too awfully worried about that then. We'll see if wildham brings him up. Nope. Okay.
Nuke, Fast, Brack, all fabulous spells. I want all of those. However, we kind of need to leave the door open to white magic, too. He is not going to care, at least on one of them. He took Brack on one. To find out that Heal 3, Fade, and Life are all level 2 white. Wow! The loaded spells.
Front-loading magic, alright.
Alright, what does our hint giver say today? The floater is in Volcano. So, that hopefully means the canoe is somewhere in the inner sea.
Yeah. It worries me that we got the canal so early.
Right.
And if we get the ship pretty quick as well. I mean, we've got the turn-ins coming, so we're going to find out which way the seed's kind of leading us.
So, one of the concerns, and I mean, you hit it on the head. You get the ship, you kind of wonder what's going to throw you for that canoe. I am inclined to try to do everything on land here before I go gallivanting about the world.
Sure.
Because it's not that much, right?
Yeah, and everything's still pretty close, you know, so, and there goes the Hooray Dwarf.
That is a ruby.
Okay.
Now this TNT check, whatever it is out of logic, because it was a starter item.
Right.
And that is, I think, one of the most interesting... it's the Oxyale. Okay, well, we've changed one out-of-logic item for another out-of-logic item. One of the most interesting things about these flags is that you have the ability to sequence break based on these starting key items.
Right.
And that is an herb from Astos.
All right. I mean, it's just taking us on a tour. So, question is, do you stop by Marsh before heading over to Elfland?
Absolutely. We have 4 charges of warp. Probably 3 in Wildham's case. I think he used one to get out of the Dwarf Cave. But 3 is exactly how many you need to get out of Marsh. And he's thinking about, yeah. That realization hit just a second later than it had initially wanted to.
Yeah, I like this play. I mean, you know where the incentive item's going to be. It's going to be in the incentivized chest. You've got warp. You've got nuke to deal with anything nasty. So,
I mean, you're going to just run from most everything. Oh, cheeky nuke to try to clear the pack if you fail to run. I guess if the ninja's the only one who's consistently running, because red mages and white mages not known for their ability to run typically.
Right. Alright, wildham run into an arachnid and a muck. Heading on down.
Kumo is choosing to go to Elfland first. And
it's an interesting route.
If it's the canoe, it's great. If it's not, it's not. Lock is actually good in these flags. Because the boss scaling is 100 to 200% all stats and HP, that means that the fiends can be rather evasive. And I have seen situations where even a 42 black belt cannot beat chaos on it. And that is a ship.
Okay.
Hashtag concern. However, again, we had the warp charges to just leave. You're going right to where it was going to spawn anyway. You have the herb to turn in. You're done with that. Wall at level 4. The loot is in C. Lit 3 at level 4 black. Notable in white 3 was Cure 4, but that is in slot 2, which is not learnable by the reds. And that was a slab for sale in the shop.
Yes, it was, for 34,000, and a white shirt from the Prince.
That is worthless. So that ship is needed.
Yeah, the seed's sending you to the outer sea. So where do you go? Sarda? Crescent?
So, Sarda, Crescent, and then your only other option is Earth 3 and warp your way back out.
I mean, you can make it to Sea Shrine. You have the Oxio.
It doesn't matter, though. We know it's the loot.
Oh, right. Oh, man, those hint givers paying off there. Okay. I would have been, oh, you know what? I'm going Sea Shrine. I'm going the low percentage play.
So what I will say about those hint givers is that if you can retain the information,
right,
when you've got your race brain on, because I can't sometimes, but if you can retain that information, it can be crucial in avoiding plays you just don't need to make.
Yeah. Now, wildham might try Earth, check some grind tiles while he's over here. But, I mean, are you going to grind at this point before you really set your party up?
Absolutely not. I require 2 orbs lit before I even consider grinding.
Right.
Like, even a little bit. I want to run from everything until I have 2 orbs.
That makes sense.
Early Sarda is on, so we don't need to kill the vampire in order to talk to Sarda.
Right. And I believe a lot of early progression is on.
Right,
like
and that's,
stages
I think, common and typical. We get a ribbon, and that is a very hard, I'm thinking about this. As Wildham resets out, knowing that it is just a matter of flying over there with the airship once it's found.
Right.
And again, we know that's in Volcano.
Right. So the missing piece at this point is the canoe. Let's hope that the sages can provide.
Interesting that Wildham is choosing to save at that dock. That tells me, we're encounter manipulating all the way to the town, which is fine. Like, it's not like a major hindrance, but we gotta think about that in terms of what if this is garbage.
Right.
If we find that this is the defense sword, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
And that tells us we need to go all the way back to Earth. The defense is in Canaria Castle. Okay.
All right.
So this could still be the Masa.
It could.
It's the cube. Earth still required.
Oh, wonderful. That... I mean, you're gonna need it.
Yep.
But, wow, that is just the speed bump of speed bumps right there. Like, pedal to the metal, just kidding.
So what I think is kind of funny here is there is a world in which that little diversion, having to run all the way back to Earth for Wildham, could actually be time saving that Kumo has versus, because he could just decide to go to Earth.
Right.
He's right there.
Right.
And it's not an illogical play. It's just not it's not one that feels good. You never want to go into Earth twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad, but...
It's so long.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be checking chests on the way down, so it's just a pain in the butt dungeon.
Wildham is checking tiles. Hall of Giants still contains giants. How nice is that?
And Earth's gross.
Yep. Pass on those.
Yeah.
Phoenix calling for Chime in Earth. That would be hilarious. Kumo does make this same play, though, of heading back to Crescent.
Yeah, so no advantage either way here in terms of where you've gone and where you're going, so... So we will see what is behind Mr. Vampire.
Now the call out from Thavian. Crystal into Chime into Rod. Oof.
Ooh. Okay.
That is really the rude one, because you have to go into the inner sea in order to turn in.
Kumo getting their cue.
Trying to chase down this hint giver now.
I'm assuming that the northern docks are on.
Yes.
Okay. Hence why you can go into Sky. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep, that's also why you could go into sea right now.
Right. Is Bahamut?
Yes, Bahamut Dock is on. And there is that canoe.
Okay. Alright.
It's time to warp and warp and warp again. And then
find a volcano.
Yep. Now the nice thing here is, with the abundance of wonderful magic, this volcano is approachable. Like, you could theoretically just nuke and fade carry into the ground.
Yep.
Kumo's a little low on camping gear. I'm feeling a little bit unsure about that.
Yeah, especially with a few of the races that I've seen lately where the necessity to go restock is a thing.
While I'm taking a moment to restock as well before going over to the volcano. And choosing to use that river dock at Crescent Lake instead of taking the ship up and around. It's questionable if it saves you time, but faster ship generally makes me want to use it.
Sure. Alright, Wildham's going to give us our first look at Volcano. And are we checking any trap tiles here? Nope. We're just heading on down. Okay.
We're forced to check 2 of them as is, right?
Right.
But realistically, that is a lot of steps out of the way to check those. Even if, you're not looking at if you're not looking at it as a cost, and because you planned to grab the chests anyway, which Kumo has been looting a fair bit.
Right.
That tells me that Kumo is probably not betting on that black belt showing up this seed.
So how does that work? How many loose recruits are there?
That is a wonderful question.
Are those locations randomized as well?
There are 6 recruits, and they are linked to key NPCs.
Okay.
I guess there is actually no duplicates allowed, so there will be one.
Okay, you just gotta track them down.
Yeah. I didn't realize that there were no duplicates allowed. That's good to know.
Now, in terms of leveling, when you replace a character, do they gain the levels of the previous character in that slot?
They sure do.
Okay.
So the bad part, and this is something that I think the racers will probably consider, is that if they are going to grab that black belt, it's going to be unpromoted. And in these flags, the black belt gets 3 MDef per level, and the master gets 4 MDef per level.
Oh, interesting.
That is a really big difference.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it really is.
It doesn't like necessarily feel that way in that particular moment, but it that was Kumo's last cabin. But the key is that because you're getting so many levels, you're looking at that being a difference of 42 plus MDef, if you're going to the moon.
Right.
And the way that it calculates is it says, hey, what class are you? And if you were promoted because you fought Bahamut, because it is fighting a buffed Bahamut in these flags, then it says, oh, you're a master. Now we're going to level you from 1 to whatever this character level was as a master.
Oh.
And you'll get all that MDef.
Okay.
But if you aren't promoted, you're going to get the black belt scaling until you promote, and then upgrade after that. But that means that you've lost the MDef for those.
Okay. Interesting. I like the logic of this flag set. It adds a very spicy twist to it.
Yep. Wildham through carry 1, no problems at all.
Yeah.
There's a floater in hand. That it was just nukes and fades for days.
Yeah.
So off to go get an airboat. Kumo realizing the need to restock on camping equipment. So I suspect Wildham's going to go grab that ribbon from Sardo real quick, because it's free and right there. And now he doesn't have, like, the whole walk of shame that he had to do to get it initially.
Sure.
But this also brings up, what is our route from here? So, available to us, we have the bottle turn-in, which is still out of logic. We have ice, which is where Wildham is going right now. We can purchase the slab from Elfland and turn that in if we have the money. But money is very scarce in these flags for quite a while. Like, Kumo's only at 10k at 20 minutes in, and Kumo's been opening boxes. Wildham, I think, is significantly lower.
And it's significant to note that that thief started with 4,000. So...
Right. So, getting the 30-some thousand that slab was is going to be kind of difficult.
Right.
Ordeals is on the table. Waterfall is on the table. Like, there are locations, sure, but they're all a little far-flung. And knowing that C is the loot, yes, it's required, but we don't need it right now. Fabian calling out that the Blue D's had less than 300 hit points.
Okay. Alright. Okay, I was wondering what Wildham was doing there. I figured that it was just going to be straight to the incentive chest. But I guess checking a couple chests down there.
So I looked away from Wildham's stream for a second. Did he check the 2-pack on the left?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very common when you're doing the warp trick to do that. I find that to be a cute play. I like that. Like, you're right there. It's not a long check. And who knows what you're going to find. Also, it gives you information on 2 more spike tiles, so... Mm-hmm.
Alright, and we are going to go take care of a lich. I like this, getting that second orb lit. Before even attempting a grind.
There's a rule that I have heard from Apathy Duck in the past, and it's ABCD, always be clear in dungeons. And Wildham is doing just that.
Absolutely. And looks like Kumo found another blue day. Is this from a spike tile?
In here, absolutely. This would be... Is he setting up for... Oh, no. He's just grabbing chests. Okay.
Okay.
So that is one of the shared spike tiles throughout that floor. The only other one is the one in the armory room, like amongst the chests.
Right.
But I think that has 4 or 5 locations in the first or the second floor. Well, Wildham on a tear.
Yeah, nothing's stopping Wildham right now. I'm intrigued to see what their progression is going to be, not necessarily key item wise, but more character wise. I really also want to see the rest of Wildham's sprites. These are incredible.
I do have to commend that the red mages are friggin' adorable.
Isn't it? Are they adorable? And the mustache on the ninja, like, this is solid stuff. Alright, looks like we'll see a Lich here before too long, but judging off of how quickly Carrie folded... I
don't like to judge these fiends until I see what they do.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of harmful magic that we're about to throw at this thing.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said earlier, 100 to 200%. So, I think I lag spiked there. There we go. All right.
There was a 300 damage fade, a 266 nuke, and there was the other nuke before it. That Lich is gone. Okay.
All right.
Where we start to worry is going to be Kraken, which, you know, that's no surprise.
Absolutely.
From our logical standpoint of what's still hanging out there. So both of our runners started with the bottle, the TNT. So those should be off the tracker. You know, it's sometimes the key item starts are weird for tracking those. But we still have a crystal outstanding. We could turn in that bottle, but we don't necessarily know that that's going to give us progression because that's still sequence breaking. We still got that slab chilling out. We don't know what Waterfall has, and we're right here. But Wildham, he is going to go to Waterfall first. Okay. I like it in the sense that if it's the Masa, it gives the ninja something to do.
Right. Especially next stop is going to be Sea Shrine, so you're going to want to lead. You're going to want a little bit more for Kraken, especially if Kraken starts doing Kraken things. So
Kumo choosing to take a little bit more defensive strats and loses the ninja for it, but nukes are good enough.
Yep, that'll carry you through there. Carry you through, Carrie.
I was just gonna let it slide, buddy.
Sorry. It's been a long day. These things just come naturally sometimes. Alright, so Wildham pulling up on the robot, finding some wizards on the spike tile, just gonna run from those.
Is going to open these chests, which I like. These are good chests to open. Hey,
Yeah,
it's the bottle.
I don't hate it. Oh man, that. Okay. I mean, we had it.
Yep.
So.
Whereas Kumo's figuring out life.
Yeah.
I think Kumo might have the money to buy that slab, and so he's going to double dip the Northern Cotton.
All Alright, and Wildham heading down to Sea Shrine. Gonna go say hi to a Kraken. Not
He is
gonna
going to go to
bother.
Kraken first. That kind of surprises me. Maybe the intent is to take a couple encounters on the way to the incentive box.
Yeah, and I mean, he takes out Kraken, and that's another 50% XP and gold gain. And that slab's still out there for sale. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I think the main goal is to have that XP boost. Is that... What is that next to Dr. Oak? I don't know. It might be a black...
No, I didn't catch it.
It had a custom map man, so I don't know. Yeah, that was one of the notable things that Wildham brought up, is that his map man sprites are all vanilla.
Right.
It's just the combat sprites that are changed. And so it's a lot easier to tell what's going on with recruits when you have vanilla map men.
Short. Alright. Kumo jumping into ice.
Gonna get that rod and get on out of here. It is kind of funny that he jumped straight into ice after doing all the prep work to go do Northern Continent tournament.
Right.
It's required. The Kraken cometh.
Alright, let's see what happens here. Got a
nuke, crack, fade.
Alright.
Good nuke. That's a damage poison. That's a little scary.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it killed the bracking one, too.
Yeah. This could be dangerous.
Going to life that one.
With Sleep Touch, okay.
Sleep Touch on Kraken is scary simply because it's like... There's so many hits.
It almost feels redundant. And
down
there
goes
goes
the Kraken.
Alright, nuke paying off in dividends.
Yes, heal before you walk up to that teleporter.
Alright, and Kumo's gonna make use of that rod and go take out a Lich. And Wildham is diving mermaid side to get the incentive on over there.
Which we know is the loot from one of the hint givers.
Yeah, you're gonna need that.
So part of what surprises me about this play from Kumo is that I've generally known him to be sort of a black belt enthusiast.
Yeah.
So not chasing down the incentive locations with the recruitable NPCs is a little bit confusing. Wildham I've always kind of understood to be more of a thief or fighter kind of guy, which, you know, different strokes for different folks. I'm kind of a black belt enthusiast myself. But, you know, we'll see what route they choose to take on that. I think we've seen a lot of black belt supremacy when the black belt is readily available, just because the variability on stats means that it's a little easier to go through once you know you have a damage can.
It is tough to argue against a character that in round 1 can hit a fiend in Topher for 2,500 to 3,600 damage.
It's true.
So, you know, that's tough to argue about. I grew up being a fighter knight enthusiast when I played when I was a kid. canonically, that's just what happens in my mind. But watching these black belts just monster everything makes me rethink my past decisions a little bit. So, but Kumo making it through Lich, no problem there. And probably gonna head up towards the northern continent now. Looks like it.
I'm not sure what Wildham is looking for here, but I think that he's trying to remember where the slab was for sale.
Okay.
But, I mean, the same token, he knows the item shop is destroyed in whatever town the vampire attacks.
Right.
We'll touch down on Elfland Castle for disrespect. Gotta love it.
And we had the dud hint giver in Gaia there. Always love to see that. And exit level 7. I mean, at this point, exit isn't really
it's
imperative.
Not super relevant.
So, yeah.
Life 2 and Invis 2 level 8.
Oh my. Those are relevant.
Sad Life 2 noises.
Oh,
yeah, it was a
is
black
that?
mage in Melmond.
Okay. And what's that next to the ferry?
I missed it entirely.
Yeah.
We'll have to see it on Wildham's side because he's going to head in that direction right now. He doesn't have much of it.
Yeah. Kumo popping down to Lafane.
The other thing, again, it's all about how behind you feel at any given moment in the seed, but the black belt requires the grind, but for Wildham right now, that feels pretty decent. There's the chime.
Okay. Oh, we found a black belt.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. We know where it is now.
Well, now that we have it,
and it's got hurt all. It is not a slouch.
Right. Okay.
Hurt all is so strong.
Yeah.
In these flags, it is 30 extra damage. That's going to affect everything but Chaos, because Chaos somehow doesn't have a type or an elemental weakness.
Okay. Now, do we think Wildham's picking up that black belt as well?
It's really hard to say no to it, but at the same time, I feel like he's the kind of player who might... he's going to take it.
Oh.
He's going to replace the ninja with it.
That was an interesting call.
So, alright. The thought process here is you're balancing out how many encounters am I planning to run from for the rest of the season versus, wow, that's a really cool black belt sprite.
Yeah.
We've got a Goron and some sort of monkey dude? Awesome. Kumo headed to Sky.
Well, they've got the Earth Orb blip. They beat Lich already. And I mean, like, they're over here. So...
There's a Masa. So... Wildham did replace one of the mages. He kept the...
Oh.
No. I'm confusing myself. Sprites are hard, man.
I'm pretty sure it was the ninja. The ninja was in the top spot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah, look at that.
So, the argument for replacing the ninja really comes down to, do I care about how many encounters I need to run from? Or do I care about getting the grind easier? Like, getting down the rest of the party is so much faster when the black belt is, replacing the ninja who would otherwise have a lot of agility and could just be evading things.
Sure.
At the same time, we're starting out this grind and leaving the black belt up front, which is the sign that you're not ready to kill off the party. This overworld it's not a huge amount of walking time, per encounter, but like it's still kind of a lot.
Yeah, if you can find a spike tile that's gonna be one step off.
Second encounter T-Rex, probably good enough.
Okay.
It has over 400 hit points, but under 630-ish.
Not much, yeah.
There
And
is
Kumo
the
getting
key
the key. All
as our
right.
final required item in no mode.
All right.
And Kumo is not in go mode, but we are as a commentary booth in our no mode at this point, as we already knew where the loot was. Actually, Kumo knows where it is too. He just has to grab it.
Right.
I like the in-combat Cure 4 to take care of the Black Belt belt.
Alright, and Wildham switched that red wizard up front. Looks like they are ready to start downing some party members. Now, what is the T-Rex? Is that going to be reliable enough to down your red wizards?
If it acts.
Yeah.
That's been the problem, is that the party's been going first pretty consistently. Right. And it's not that you specifically care about the party going down right away. Like, you want magic charges and everything.
Sure.
But actually, the Arenkylos using Cremate is pretty reliable, too.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, maybe try and get the Arenkylos to down a couple characters before really leaning into that T-Rex, but
I think ultimately Wildham wants the levels on the party for a little bit.
Sure.
Yep, and the Cremate is like just good enough.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you know, you are healing 30 hit points between encounters. But, you know, you see things like that.
Yeah, got one of them out of the way. And Kumo is on the Bridge of Destiny. Get your fingers crossed for a robot chicken encounter. Find some metal spines. Did that T-Rex also have sleep touch?
Yes.
It's incredible. I'm going to bite you with my giant jaws, and you're gonna fall asleep. And Kumo pulling Tia, and Tia saying no to that ninja.
And kind of no to that black belt, but that's kind of to be expected. Kumo doesn't have levels on that black belt yet.
Right. So the question is magic going to be able to carry you through this? Well, not with just one cast and nuke left.
So Kumo is taking kind of a slow and steady approach to this, which sort of makes sense given that the ninja is down.
Sure.
However, that was 3 stacks of evade, and we still saw a heckin' rough time go out for that black belt.
Tia is here to make you earn it.
Yeah. Wildham has downed the party. And even with the Masa equipped, still taking out these T-Rexes on its own, which really speaks to just how powerful Hurt All is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not... That's 4 hits for 600 some odd damage. Like, that's really tough to argue.
Yeah, and the thing with the T-Rex is, as long as it goes down, that's all we care about. We don't want it to hit us. Right. But if it's going down in 1 hit, we don't care if it's by fists or by Masa.
And to note, that is 18,000 experience.
These flags are very generous once you have orbs lit.
Wow.
And what I, feel as a runner who has done almost this exact same grind, like in the last couple days, is you're going to just power up that black belt, and you're saving that house for when you're ready to just head on over, and we're gonna take out Tia. We're just gonna run in with this solo black belt, and we're gonna just take it to her. Kumo has lit the air orb, so
Fantastic.
that is orb parity. However, there is very little comparison when you were talking about a black belt that has already started the grind and gotten most of the way there.
Yeah, just hit 32 there. Gonna keep going. Now, do you think Wildham's gonna take this all the way to 42 or stop early?
I don't see a reason for him to stop early.
Okay.
Rube's calling out, very rightfully so. You might want to move the black belt out of slot 1 because it will start running. It has pretty bad morale. Kumo is committing to the Bloody grind by the looks of it.
Okay. I mean, they're thin.
They are thin. And the other thing that I really like about it is you can whittle down the party with the lava tiles.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a safe tile, no off-step encounter. So
that's the only way that it outspeeds the grind that Wildham is on. Is there's a lot of walking involved in getting to this second encounter, but at the same time, that is a lot of experience on that T-Rex. By the way, 1801 damage at 37.
Goodness.
Yeah, harm all is so strong. Or hurt all, rather, is so strong on this black belt.
Alright, now if my predictive math is right, I think once Kumo gets solo black belt, that Blue D should be giving a little around, right around 9,000, almost 10,000. Yeah,
884-ish. We've got 2 up still.
Okay. And that is a fast encounter. So, like, Kumo might be behind on this grind, but it's not going to take too long.
Well, it all depends on when the white mage finally goes down.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm kind of questioning is Kumo equipped the ribbon, and only the ribbon, onto the black belt.
Huh.
But Wildham is done with the grind?
Yeah.
He's walking encounters to try to deal with encounter minute.
That is one part of my game that I need to vastly improve, is figuring out encounter manipulation. I find it fascinating. Okay. That black belt barely made it by that Blue D there.
Yeah, setting yourself down to 1 absorb by putting just a ribbon on. Pretty rough.
Leaving the ribbon on, but taking off the massa.
Gonna walk out and save now that the party is set up. I can understand that.
Yeah, I don't.
It costs a little bit of time, but if it saves you, a wipe that you have to reset up.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
So the flip side of this encounter for Kumo is, while it is 8560, I've got the updated math here. The fight transition time, the actual time it takes to raise your hands, get the pop-ups about your XP and gold and your level ups and all that. Like, the XP and gold screen and the hands up time is a lot of time. And that might actually be roughly equivalent to the time that Wildham was spending walking. So that's one of the concerns, because Wildham was getting almost double the experience per fight. This is fast. It feels fast. It's just, is it as fast? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not stopwatching this over here. But just like that,
Redemption.
Wildham already to the Bridge of Destiny.
Let's fingers crossed for our war mech to show up.
I got a little worried with that glare there. I don't know if anybody else felt a little bit of clenching going.
Now that, because the black belt has the MDef that it has, like there's a, oh wow, there goes Tia. There's not much chance for that to hit, right?
It is very low.
Okay.
Reaper level is still very good. It's the same as the Knight. However, 4 per level is so strong because you hit roughly 46, 47. You are ribbon equivalent. Like, you are down to 3 and 256 for basically every spell in it. The challenge of 3 MDF per level is you're good, like you're very close to perfect, but you're not going to reach that height.
Right.
You're going to get very low odds on the most accurate spells like Brack.
Sure.
But you might not, hit your top end on certain things that you might otherwise want. Wildham is going to pick up the defense sword before going in, which I think is an excellent play.
Yeah, I mean, you're here, and I mean, that can save your Tuchus, so.
And puts the Masa onto one of the mages. Kumo is almost done with this grind, but still has to do the Sea Shrine everything.
Yeah.
So if it goes well for Wildham. And it's hard to say that a 44 black belt is going to have problems in Topher. Yeah, it's tough to imagine a world that that anything's gonna stand up to that black belt that has over 800 hit points and is just punching everything into oblivion. Alright, and Wildham diving deeper into Topher. Kumo's finishing up their grind. That Blue D still hits pretty good. Now, I don't think he's taken the ribbon off.
That ribbon is still on there. So if it had no ribbon on, it would have much more defense stat.
Yeah, the absorb would be a lot higher.
Gotcha.
Kumo stopping at 40. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think he might have actually run out of heal pots.
Oh, interesting.
We'll see. He's going to restock while he's in town. He said he's done with the grind.
I think
he's not restocking. Weird.
Yeah, that's a choice. I mean, you're gonna have opportunity to restock anyway. He's got to go do C, which takes him to Onrak, and he has to walk right by an item shop to get there. Maybe he's just hedging his bets, but I mean, he's already here. I don't know.
He was right there.
Yeah.
It's...
Alright, meanwhile, Wildham... I didn't even see a Lich. Did you see a Lich?
Yeah, it cloud of dust.
Yeah. Alright, and making their way towards Carry 2.
Linkshot coming in with the accuracy breakdown to really show the value of where things are at.
Alright, and we've got Carry 2, we've got Punch, Fast, and Wait. Fast coming out, and goodbye, Carry. Holy crap. Come on. Come on.
Hurt all is so
Black
good.
belts, come on. Wow. That's pretty wild.
I'm with you, Ale. It is unethical.
Like, is the hurt all flag like weighted so that it doesn't pop up so much? Because that seems broken.
I don't see it terribly often, but I've seen it roll a couple of times. I saw it on Red Mages last night in one of the races.
Oh.
And then we never saw a Red Mage. Chat asking, what is Hurt All? So Hurt All is normally just the modifier on the X-Cal that says, hey, you get the weapon elemental damage bonus on every attack against everything but Chaos. Because everything but Chaos has a type or a weakness. That's what Hurt All is targeting. In these flags, it's plus 30 damage to each attack. Hurt All in this context right now, the Black Belt has it as a bonus. And when it's in a bonus, it applies to every attack regardless of what weapons, or in this case, fisticuffs you've got going out. So the Black Belt gets it on all the punches, and it is ridiculous, as you're looking at 10 to 20 punches per attack. It's very strong. It's basically like 2 free tempers.
At all times.
All the time.
Forever. Now, it shouldn't hurt Chaos, right?
Right. It's not going to work on Chaos, but Boo-hoo, in the case of Wildham, who is
Black
on
Belt,
Chaos
still
right
gonna
now,
Black Belt, right?
It's just Chaos just cure forward the initial damage, but don't worry, 9 hits for 1400. It's fine.
Chaos is gonna need a lot more cure first.
Yeah, so call out because we have the ability to harvest the magic on our end. Temper was level 8, and I believe it was Lefane. So that actually would have made it very difficult without the power bonk to get a fighter or thief carry to finish this out. However, Wildham just punches until it's done.
And
so get your GGs out for Wildham, finishing with a 54-20.
Yeah, GGs.
Very well performed the whole way through.
Absolutely. Alright, looks like Kumo is pulling up to Kraken here. Also wanted to shout out a thank you to Softnum for tracking today. Keeping us on track with all of the key item pickups and progression. And there went Kraken 1.
You saw a little wave on the face cam from Kumo as he recognized that Wildham finished as he was fighting Kraken.
Right.
And welcome to the booth, our winner today, Wildham. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. It was a good race.
Yeah, GG's. That was really something to watch. That black belt. Wow.
Yeah, but with her all, there's no question. You're going black belt.
Yeah, it unethical, as Eric put it in chat. It's such a strong bonus for the black belt in particular. I mean, it's good for everybody, but the black belt just sees so much value. How did you feel about the walking grind that you took? Like, it didn't seem like it was that long, but it always feels long.
Yeah, it felt bad a bit. It was a bit long to start, and I don't know if Kumo finds anything better, but that felt like still the best way to go about it. But yeah, it wasn't great.
Kumo took the first spike tile in Volcano, which was paper-thin blue Ds. They had like 300 some health. They hit decently hard still, but yeah.
That would have been pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long grind, but those T-Rexes were giving a lot of experience.
They were pretty juicy.
So Wildham, your sprites were incredible.
Thank you. It's my son that did them. He's been working on them for like a month or so. He was pretty excited to do something with that. So I'm really proud.
Yeah, kudos to him for making those. Those were a treat to look at for sure. Looking forward to seeing them more in the future.
Well, maybe a future spriter to become, yeah.
It was some great work that your son did there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They look fantastic. Kumo on to the Lich 2 fleet. So, working it. Getting there as fast as he can. So, I think the moment of probably, aw man, was the realization that you had to double dip Earth in this seed. How was that for you?
It was annoying, but it was required, so like I didn't feel too bad. You got warped, so it was still a quick check, and I knew that like Kumo would have to do it too, so it didn't feel like I made a mistake in my routing. So at least there was that.
Overall, seemed like a pretty linear seed. And any particular thoughts about it?
No, like you said, it was pretty linear. Not any bad surprise. Yeah, I don't have much to say about the routing.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty straightforward, like, not only was the seed linear in terms of where you were going to go, but like it was very obvious from characters, like, you do the Blursing spoiler and you find out that you've got Herd All Black Belt, and you're just like, well, yep, we're just going to find the Black Belt, we're going to find a grind, and like, all of that was kind of predetermined by the seed from a certain perspective.
Yeah, and the hints were like very on point. They really told you, sometimes they're just useless, but this time they were like, they just told you everything in the end dungeon, so that was very useful. You had to, or it was easy to plan.
Mm-hmm. On to Kraken 2 for Kumo, as Carry 2 and Lich 2 basically did nothing.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're not going to see a whole lot out of Kraken either.
Well, the fast didn't land right away, so...
and there.
Okay. Turn order matters.
Alright, looks like Kumo is pulling up to Tier 2 here. Fueling up before the battle.
So Wildham, this win will put you up against Phoenix as your next opponent. How do you feel about that matchup?
I think my next step is going to be the loser bracket. Yeah. Phoenix is very strong.
I mean, it's hard to feel confident against any opponent in these in this tournament, right? Like,
yeah, there's a strong field, and we got a lot of duckling that join in that are living at the heels there.
Yeah, between the strength of the field and the variability of the flags, one seed can be vastly different experience from the next in ways that I don't think is common in our tournament metas. So it is definitely hard to feel confident going up against anybody, but I think that you put on a fantastic performance today.
Yeah, that was.
If I were Phoenix, and I thought I saw him in chat earlier, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah, all of your moves look logical and well thought out. So, yeah, I'd be concerned. All right. Meanwhile, Kumo taking on Chaos, just punching away and waiting, and there it goes. 102.33. Kumo taking out Chaos.
Get your GGs out in chat.
Hello.
Hey, Kumo.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
GGs.
GG's.
GG's. How about that double dip in Earth?
Yeah, I kind of chuckled at it. There was a moment I was like, is either runner going to proximity play it since they were just here for Sarda? And it was pretty obvious that wildham just was like, nope, and immediately goes down to Crescent. And then, I was like, maybe Kumo does it. We'll see. And similarly, you're just like, nope, and out.
Yep.
You like how I saved at the docks and reset out?
Yeah.
Just to go back again for it, because why not?
Well, the ribbon isn't progression; it's just helpful.
Yeah, I was figuring if I get the canoe over to the crazy old sages, I could go to Volcano to pick up the floater and then fly back over to Sarda. But nope, that's not the way it played out. Hurdall should be banned on the black belt.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
I think I get up to almost 4,000 damage on Lich.
I mean, if you like big numbers, you're very much entertained.
It's basically 2 free tempers on almost every encounter. It's lovely.
It was incredible.
You could hear the Lich whimpering me even before the fight.
No, that black belt was hitting hard.
So, looking at where things are headed from here, Kumo, your next opponent will be Rax. How do you feel about that matchup?
Well, this seed is anybody's game, so I mean. Or should I say flag set? I'm sorry.
It's all good. And I follow you on that. I think that these are... I've said it before. They're prone to wily old man jujitsu. Like, that feeling where it's like, how do I need to adapt and change my plans as the seed progresses in a way that I don't think we see in a lot of other tournament flag sets. So...
I've done over 60 practices. And I have yet to come out of Topher with a thief or fight or carry.
Huh.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting, the meta on this. Almost seems counterintuitive with the all the different characters having key items, and it just boils down to black belt seeds a lot. It's kind of interesting to watch.
I mean, I had a fighter finish last night. That was kind of nice, but I totally follow what you're saying on that. Like, the black belt's consistency is so strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for a fighter carry, you're really looking for a significant blursing to get there. Because I feel like not having to open up so many chests really leans into that black belt and having that justification to go for a fighter carry might be tough. So
I also think Chaos heard the black belt coming because he cast Cure 4 right off the bat.
yeah, first turn, both battles, and it didn't do squat. Gave him a couple of seconds extra breathing time. So, yeah, that black belt carry is fascinating with that hurt all flag. Jeez.
So I don't know if it's come through on the mic yet, but I have a very sad dog behind me. So I'm thinking that we probably need to head to final thoughts. So we'll start with our winner, Wildham.
Well, GG to Kumo again. A great race. I want to shout out Ale for crafting these flags. They're a lot of fun. They're great. And thanks to you guys for picking up the comp team on this.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
And Kumo, your final thoughts.
Thank you all for taking time out of your day to help run this shindig. I appreciate you all. Without the viewers, you guys we wouldn't be here. So I appreciate you all. Maybe I'll make it in the loser bracket. We'll see.
Catnip, your final thoughts?
Oh, not a whole lot. Great race to both the runners. That was fun and entertaining to watch and talk about. Big thank you to Softnum for doing the tracking. And Saracen, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you about this. It's been fun. And a thank you to Speed Gaming Live. Absolutely thank you to them. So.
All right. Well, echoing everybody else, thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us, Softnum for the tracking, Catnip, my partner in the booth tonight, and GG's to both of our runners, Wildham and Kumo. If you haven't followed them, certainly give them a follow. And if you like what you saw, come hang out with us. The best way to get into the community is to go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and join the community Discord. There's a link at the bottom of the page. We do run a new player program once a year. That is the Duck Boot Camp, and that is something that we have fully documented in our wiki. We try to make it as easy as possible to get into the game so you can come and enjoy the suffering with us. If you haven't yet met all the community, don't worry. We'll all be here for you. We're a very talkative and friendly, welcoming group, I think. We do have
Rax is my next opponent.
Yep. We do have plenty of other races going on even tonight. We currently have in progress Clementitas versus Mechlin. We also have a Chanigan versus Pickles and Beer at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's coming up in about 40 minutes. There's still going to be a delay there, of course. But Razor One versus Ale at 10:30 p.m. Eastern as well. So Chanigan versus Pickles and Beer, SG1. Razor One versus Ale, that'll be SG2. So plenty of races even just tonight. Come check them out. I think it's been great content, and I look forward to seeing how these racers do. But with that, I'm Saracen. I've got a sad dog behind me. Thank you again from all of us in the booth chat. It's lovely to see y'all here. Have a great night.